When you're pitching VCs, just try to understand the cycle that particular VC is in. If it is a VC, are they on their first fund? Are they on their second fund? I think it's better to ask questions, learn about the VC, how they invest, what their thesis is, than pitching first. That'll be very enticing to a VC. I think it shows that you're taking an interest versus just pitching your company first, because the VC they may not even be deploying capital. So you really have to figure out where they're at in their investment period. If they've had their fund running for 3 years, 4 years, you might as well move on, because they're probably not deploying capital unless they've launched a new fund, another fund. So you have to look at VCs as they have a rolling. They always have funds that are rolling. So they might have one fund and the investment period is like 3 years, and they're going to be investing in 3 years, right? And then after that 3 years, you have a harvest period where they're trying to get those companies that they invested in to scale and hopefully exit or go public, whatever the strategy is. But after those 3 years are up, they're not deploying any more capital out of that fund. The only way that they would be deploying more capital is if they launch another fund. So it's really imperative that you understand the thesis of a VC. Private equities come much later. More like Series B, Series C. When you're looking at acquisition, or kind of more institutional type capital, right? And you're looking to go at a much. You're essentially going to grow at a much larger scale. So that's when you're looking at much more potent rounds of capital, right? And you're probably going to be going probably public, or you're looking at a major M&A. So there's that. You can always look at family offices. Family offices are doing more direct investments these days as well, particularly in the areas of AI. So don't just look at VCs. I think VCs get publicized. They get a lot of media spotlight because everyone kind of thinks, well, VC is the go-to, but there are other types of investment entities that you can pursue, like VCs, family offices, angel syndicates, high net worth investors. So you can pursue those for investment as well. Additionally, don't forget about banks. I literally had someone tell me a couple of weeks ago that it's my job to deploy capital as a VC. And I'm like, you are so wrong. Like, no, it's my job to evaluate companies, and it's my job to perform due diligence on companies, ensure that it fits our thesis, ensure that it fits the longer term market's needs, ensure that company has long-term viability, and then selectively make investments. So if you're looking for someone to simply just deploy capital to you, that's a bank's job. That's a credit union's job. Go to them. A VC's job is to ensure that the companies we decide to invest in are set up for success, and then we provide them every resource possible. And if we don't have the resource, then to cultivate it to ensure that they are successful. So that's very important. And so just, pay attention to those types of things. I think that, those are going to really help you out a lot in your fundraising journey.